let's move on here. The next question we got was, what does wind damage look like? So I see why they picked these two questions. They're very similar. What does hail damage look like, and what does wind damage look like? So, Mr. Paul, what does wind damage look like? What do you see?
Wind damage is going to be a little bit more easy to find because a lot of times, depending on the shingle, like you have 3-tab shingles, which if you look behind me, because I know this camera is filming me, a 3-tab shingle is going to have tabs that look rectangular like these, and they're symmetric all across the roof.
Right.
And so when you look up at those, a lot of times those will completely blow off and break off completely, and then you see black rectangles up on the roof. And that's because the tab has blown in the wind while you're sleeping at night. It's flapping, and then it rips and it blows away. And then you have wind damage. Now, that's when they blow completely off.
Right.
That's easy to see from the ground. Now, if you get up on the roof and you're diagnosing wind damage, you can take a look at those same 3 tabs. And I remember when I was in school as a kid, I'm talking like 5th grade, and on picture day, they would give out those plastic combs to all of us. And all of us boys, while we were standing in line waiting bored to get our pictures, we would just start bending it and bending it and bending it until it went, right?
Yeah.
Basically, it's the same principle with 3 tabs blowing in the wind. It starts to crease and it starts to flip back and forth. And if it doesn't completely rip off, when it's laying flat the next day when the sun's out, you can literally see a crease across the top where the granulars. Say it for me.
Granules.
Okay, see, I've been doing this for a long time, and I still can't say that. Say it for me one more time.
Granules.
Okay, so when you see those missing and a line across the top, it's because that tab has now been creased, and that's wind damage.
Okay.
So you can have it like that, or you can have it completely ripped off.
So that's basically just before it's ripped completely off. So those are the things you can't see from the ground typically.
Right.
Like, so you go, hey, I don't have any missing shingles. And then you have somebody look at your roof. You could, or you yourself get up there and you can look and you'll see these creases everywhere. All that is shingles that haven't fell off yet.
Right, but it is still considered wind damage, and that's going to be something that you're going to have to resolve.
I think for a homeowner, those are the 2 most common ways to find wind damage. There are a few other ways where you have pull-throughs and some zippering, different things like that.
Sure.
But as far as I think for what the question was based on here, missing shingles is the most obvious one. And typically when that happens, it's pretty noticeable, and it's something you want to get taken care of because that's the first thing that you see. I saw this commercial one time that it was like, why is dentistry so important? And it's this guy smiling. And then it was like, because this guy was missing a tooth, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like, because you didn't even notice this guy is missing an eyebrow. Because all you did was look at his mouth and ignore all of it until you read the rest of it. And then you look up at his eyebrow.
And he has no eyebrows.
Yeah. So I think your shingles are basically the teeth of the roof. Like if you see a shingle that is missing, like your eyes go directly to it.
Drawn to it.
Yeah, it's an eyesore, so it's something that you'd want to get fixed. But there is, as you pointed out, the creasing to the granules. If you do hop up on there and look, it doesn't just have to be missing. But I can tell you this, if it is creased, odds are it's coming off soon.
Oh, without a doubt, because it's basically hanging on by a thread. The science of a shingle is basically you have fibers, that's the first, and they run the asphalt over it.
Yeah.
And then they sprinkle the
granules
on it, and then you've got your shingle.
Yep.
So when that starts to crease and bend like that, it's being hanging on literally by threads.
Yeah, and to be clear, a creased shingle that is unsealed and flapping in the wind, and if you're thinking about filing an insurance claim, is the same as a missing shingle because it's lost its functionality.
Right.
It is not protecting the roof anymore. It's blowing up and water can get under it.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, if you don't have any missing shingles, but you have 15 or 20 or 30 creased shingles, that's the same as 15, 20, or 30 missing shingles in the eyes of the insurance carrier.
Sure. When you have those flapping up, now you're exposing the nails that are holding the shingles on below that tab. Underneath that tab, you're going to have nails holding the one below, and now water's getting in.
Yeah. If they've rusted at this point by any means, that means water can get through that nail in those spots. So,